Yeah, they've got some good filtration in there. I mean, people are trying to throw ashes all the time and
do they
weird
really
things. Yeah,
and then it just gets sucked up.
yeah.
Grandpa, you loved Finding Nemo, right? And it goes. Be like, but he loved air conditioning. To tell you about Grandpa, he was a huge fan of being cool in the summer. Welcome to the podcast. Oh, sorry.
Okay. Welcome to Robert Land and Road Dogs. What's up, dude?
What's up, dude?
Hey, this is exciting, guys. I thought it'd be fun doing this mini series of Robert Land World to team up with my boy Jon Tomashefsky and do a Road Dogs Robert Land crossover where Road Dogs in Robert Land.
That was like Ron Burgundy warming up right now.
Well, I mean,
Road Dogs in Robert Land. Wow.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I gotta give it a little San Diego whale's vagina flair.
Oh, dude, that's the best quote of the decade, right?
Oh yeah, dude.
Okay, so what's going on now? What are we doing with this podcast of yours here? We're doing a cross dressing challenge.
Yes, it's the latest TikTok.
I think you just said that. That's what I pulled out of what you said just now.
Dude, yeah, it's just,
we're gonna crossing dressing with Robert Land, and I was like, okay. Like we just wear dresses in it. I wish you could like do stuff like that, and still people would be like, we're not mocking you. We support transgender stuff, and we support people wearing whatever they want. But you have to be so careful nowadays, where people are like, wait, are you being offensive about that? You're like, nah, dude. Like I support it, but also like I grew up with like watching like my favorite actors, Kids in the Hall, like wear whatever the fuck they wanted for the sketch. I'm gonna wear a dress for the next episode.
Do it. Liberate yourself, dude.
Wow,
do
dude.
You want.
Wow, thanks, man. Look at you.
I'll be positive.
Well, you have to also. I'm not just going to do it by myself. But like, it's better in the summertime if we wear dresses anyways, dude. Like, think about how like kept up our nads are right now.
Man, what Swedish lady can I borrow? What WNBA
I don't know,
player?
Dude. You're just turning into more and more my type right now, dude. 7 feet tall, blonde hair, blue eyes.
What lesbian lumberjack clothes can I acquire, dude?
Oh, dude, there's nothing wrong with being a lesbian lumberjack. Or a lesbian trucker.
Aunt might have some. Actually, she's not a lesbian. She's a lesbian attorney, so she doesn't really have.
Oh, hell yeah.
She has more turtlenecks.
I rest my clit, Your Honor. Is that how a lesbian attorney? They just dress like Hillary Clinton and Ellen.
Oh, dude,
they support. I was just gonna say, like the pantsuit industry is completely held up by lesbian attorneys and politician women.
Do they keep shoulder pads alive, dude?
Oh, I know, right? They're like the owner of the shoulder pad company is like, all right, we got the NFL and we got all the lesbian attorneys. Get to work, boys. Make those pads.
Shoulder pads and sandals.
That's your Jimmy Buffett song. So
Yeah.
shoulder pads and sandals.
It's about.
It's all about shoulder pads and sandals. It's all that I can handle. Pop open a beer, sit on the beach tonight. Your shoulders looking high and everything's just right. That's more of a Zappa version.
Bopper? Yeah,
Big Pop.
Yeah, that sound like Zappa, dude. Yeah, it's over in Pasadena when he does like those kind of more like speaking lines. You know? I
dude.
love. Yeah, we got to Zappa cadence that.
Zappacated.
Dude,
Do you ever look at like Zappa memes and you're like, oh, dude, yeah, that's a great point. And then you like watch a Zappa interview and you're like, God, he seemed like an insufferable asshole to hang out with.
Oh, yeah.
Like, can you imagine just be like, you like my new shirt, Frank? And he's like, corporate whore. Okay, your hair looks nice and curly today. I gotta go.
He
was probably really nice.
He was on SNL and like they banned him from hosting or something because it was like he ad-libbed or like went off the script a bunch.
Yeah.
Like during Coneheads.
Isn't that the whole point? Oh, during a sketch?
Yeah, during a sketch.
During a sketch, he stood up and looked at the camera and did like a Kanye. What did he say? Like, Saturday Night Live does not care about the American people. Or
did he say that?
No, I was making a joke. I just imagine.
Yeah.
He was a grumpy, self-authoritative, interesting dude, but brilliant nonetheless, right?
Yeah, he does have good tunes.
Oh, what's on the docket?
Dude,
Doctor.
I'm excited.
What's today's episode?
It's about roads and road-based rides, dude. Because look, theme parks have a ton of like I mean, since the beginning of theme parks, they've had rides that resemble, wagons or automobiles or whatever. And there's too many. So I was thinking of narrowing it down to
you'd
Disney.
like to cut down the amount of theme park rides that have cars in them?
Well, now we can have more road dogs where we visit theme parks.
Oh, okay. I thought you were making like a political stance and trying to get a petition signed where we take out like a third of the car
Monsanto, bro. They're fucking.
They are actually. I think if you actually look into it, I think you're like, did they make the sourdough bread bowl at California Adventure? It's like, oh, it's all Monsanto. You're
Yeah,
like,
well, Monsanto was a huge sponsor of Disney,
God.
and I don't know what did they do? Did they like gas kids or what was it?
Those are the Nazis, Robert.
Okay.
Thanks for touching a sore subject. Triggered. That should be the name of our podcast. Triggered.
Oh God, no, triggered.
That already is a podcast.
Yes,
it's probably like
there's
25 podcasts.
25, 35 podcasts.
You can only
for
be
sure.
so triggered before your adrenaline runs out, and you're just like, I'm not offended.
Yeah. You lose you're all out of angst.
Yeah.
you
Don't worry,
know?
I'm still terrified, and then that wears out too. And then you're like, well, I'm just, I'm a little angry, and then that wears out. You just lose all your adrenaline. You just lay there on the ground. You're like, I feel nothing, and you just have a black turtleneck on, and they're like, oh, you're German now? Like, yes.
I think we all get a little German when things get heavy. I
Is
mean,
that a Devo song?
we all get a little German.
Maybe it was Talking Heads or Devo, one of the two. But yeah, get a little German, doot, 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 doot. Get a little German.
Doot, doot. When things get heavy, I get a little German.
That's right. There's also that Ramon song. Hey, ho, getting German, getting German. Okay, what's on the docket
Blitzkrieg
today?
Bob, I think.
Oh,
is,
Blitzkrieg Bob.
Yeah, they're pounding in the back seat. Yeah, dude. Well, this is as fun as a Ramon song, and dude, I thought I'd narrow it down.
Road Dogs Pod.
Road dogs, pogs.
Road Dogs Pogs.
We should make
Oh,
pogs,
man,
dude.
That's how that would be a great website, dude. Like if we were the host of a Pog website.
Well, how about pogs that just have pogs on them?
Talking about
PAWGs.
hot Pogs, and they're covered in Pogs.
For people that don't know what pog is,
It's a milky white woman. No,
no,
it's
it
a
is.
milky.
Yeah,
This is
that's what I'm saying.
all our demographic is just dudes that look like us. They're like, chicks are hot.
Yeah, we like hot
I like
ladies.
rock and roll music and chicks that are hot. Right? I guess, right?
Beavis and Butthead,
I
dude.
watch Josh Homme and Tom Petty interviews, and then I talk about Pogs with my buddies. Modern music sucks. It doesn't actually. There's a lot of great stuff going on right now. Pogs are the caps of milk jars from I think it was like a Hawaiian thing, right? Was it milk jars in Hawaii, or is it just from everywhere? And they were used as a game by children, and then they got big in the 90s.
94.
I had a Beavis and Butthead Pog, like slammer.
Yeah.
I also had like a brass slammer that was really cool. I had one with like old like 90s style like tattoos, that like neo-traditional like really dorky looking tattoo. It had like a rose on it, like a skull, and all the same stuff that I still love. Basically. Pogs. And they would slam them down, and then if you won, you got to keep the other person's slammer. And my brother and I would literally just win each other's slammers back and forth. And
Dude, yeah, me too. Me and my brother had a ton of pogs, and it was so popular for like that year. It was like a year of just ginormous popularity in America, and then it was like dead. But there's a ton of leftover pogs. Definitely a lot of Disney pogs, but I remember
you're still talking about the
elementary
game
school
we played?
Yeah, yeah,
Because I saw some Pogs at Disneyland recently.
yeah, dude. I mean, well, there was
A lot of OnlyFans chicks go to Disneyland.
They do,
Yeah.
yes.
So when you go with your family, you're like just like this, like you put your horse blinders on, and you're like, 4 tickets for Disneyland, please. Oh my God, there's the Pog Robert was talking about. Yes, 4 tickets, please.
Yes, and she has a
Couple of
Hatbox Ghost.
couple of chowder bowls banging around in those pants over there.
God, I'm hungry for a bread bowl right now. For
Not a Pog.
Bodine.
Okay.
Well, I mean, yeah. it's
All right,
fun
Robert,
too.
go on. You distracted me. This is all your fault.
Well,
I was fine. I stayed on subject. You
You did.
distracted me.
well, Pogs.
I won't even take responsibility for my tangents. I'm just teasing you.
No,
You're good.
I'm thinking that we should do Pogs with Pogs on them for road dogs.
Okay, I would love that.
Okay, good. All
love
right,
that. Okay.
we're gonna put that out there, guys. We're gonna
Write that down. Jamie,
Ether.
make a note of that.
Yes, there we go. Okay, so
Thank you, Jaime. All right.
Speaking of fun times in childhood, I thought I would talk about 2 rides in specific with the road theme.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's plenty within the Disney realm that are amazing, that are like groundbreaking. I mean, you think about Autopia was
That's my
absolutely
favorite ride when I was a little kid.
revolutionary.
I was like, look forward to it all year.
For those kind of rides. I mean, the monorail, rocket rods. I mean, that was a turd, but like, there's been so many. Test Track in Orlando. I mean, they're redoing it right now. It's
Wow.
all Test Track is the same track that that the Cars ride is kind of based.
I was just gonna say, am I allowed to talk about the Cars ride? Or do I need to wait for you to bring it up? Because
Well,
the
we
Cars
will
ride is
do it. We will do
freaking
that.
phenomenal.
Yeah,
It's so great.
so I thought to keep the road dog kind of
They get it. They
theme.
understand.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Roads, yes.
Where we're going, we don't need
That's
roads.
right. Yeah. Next episode's about
Back to the Future.
Caltrans.
Back to the Future also falls in that category because you're in a DeLorean and flying.
That's Universal Studios, though, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're talking about other theme parks.
Yeah. we
Baby, in
could.
my world, there's only one theme park. It's called Disneyland.
Yeah. Well, Disneyland.
Sorry, no offense. I love other theme parks too, but Disneyland,
I mean, come on.
it's like
There's reasons Salvador Dali said it's perfection, and that's
there's no
because
other theme
he
parks
was on
better than
drugs.
Disneyland unless you're a billionaire. Then there's Epstein's Island. But other than that,
Neverland Ranch.
that's gross.
Yeah, more than Epstein. They are both pretty.
I know that was
great.
that was the joke, Robert. Thanks for
know.
catching my drifty poozer.
Well, fudge.
You like how I did a pun there? I'm catching my drift. Is this Cars related?
Dude, you
Drifting?
love the Fast and Furious ride because
There's a ride?
Yeah, on the tram at Universal.
I
The whole
think did we
portion
go
of the
together?
ride.
And I think I did that.
Yeah,
I think I was there.
Where he's
it's
like-
so forgettable.
it is. It's really goofy. There's a scene where Vin Diesel is hanging on a helicopter.
I think I remember that.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
And he's twice the size of the helicopter he's riding on because the CG is so terrible.
Oh, it's so
it's
weird.
so good.
So weird, dude.
Dominic Toretto. And it's weird because more people have seen those movies than like Casablanca or.
Well, that's why
Citizen
society's
Kane.
where it's at. It's like more kids have seen Blippi than Mr. Rogers. You're like, well, here we are.
Well, get excited.
Hope you're happy.
If you think Blippi's, get excited for Skibbity Toilet film directed by Michael Bay. Skibbity Toilet's that guy that is his tweaker head to cap. It's like in a toilet and he looks like his shit.
They're making a full.
They're
movie?
making a movie.
Well, it might be a cool psychedelic terrorizing film. A bad trip.
I think that would be a great way to do it because I heard that the creator. I think it is actually commentary on how shitty society is. I think it's like, all right, this is where we're at. Here's a severed head covered in shit that screams in a toilet.
Well, we'll see what the Church of South Park has to say about their. Okay.
All right. So the rides that I chose to speak about today and share with y'all, I think are special and special to me. Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Oh, I love Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Yeah.
I would love to have a library like that in my house with a chair like that.
Oh, yeah.
This was supposed to be a Chesterfield couch because of Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, but we didn't have the budget.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, wow. Dude, that's cool. I mean, to me, as a kid, it was so amazing because it was like Fantasyland to a T. Fantasyland is a land at Disneyland that has a lot of more the children's rides, but to me, they're some of my favorites still because Walt Disney, he definitely touched all of those rides.
Yeah.
And they were pretty amazing when they came out, in the 50s, all those OG rides. They looked different on the exterior initially.
Yeah.
And, now it's pretty amazing at Disneyland. Each ride kind of looks like it like encapsulates like the film that they're based on.
Totally.
But when they started, they were like these circus tents that they still have at Disney World kind of.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, dude, it's pretty amazing the difference from their small world to our small world.
Yeah.
Because our small world is like this. It's like this.
Oh, it's so
amazing
rad.
It's just such a feat of like theme park ingenuity, and like it looks amazing on the outside. It's this amazing castle that they light up, and it's crazy. I don't know if you've seen this, but on the ride on the outside, they actually have like symbols from each like continent. Like they'll have like Greece. Like, did you notice that in the?
I didn't know that was
display?
going on.
It's got
Like the
on
exterior of it
outside.
is what it is. No,
Yeah, it's
it looks like
pretty
it looks like the box from Hellraiser if it was like really positive and friendly.
Yeah.
That's what I think of Small World. Right? I'm always like, oh, dude, it's like a really nice Pandora's box.
Yeah, and some people feel terror on that ride just because of the
Do they?
theme song. Like it's like there's people that get so sketched out of that ride.
I love that ride still. As an old man, I still go on and I'm just like, it is a small world after all.
I do love the Canadian representation on the ride, though. It's literally just one. There's nothing to it but that.
There's a dude on a moose with the fucking hat, right?
Yeah, it's a what do you call him? Mountie.
A Mountie, yeah.
But it's just like, Dad, look at me, I'm Canadian, I'm dumb. That's it.
There is a little bit of a feeling for that, yeah. But it's, it works out.
It's small world, but
I think Mad Magazine did a version of the Small World, but in reality, like with all the war and famine and like just disgusting like colonial stuff and whatever the fuck, and it's pretty funny too. But you're gonna have to look through your collection, and I'm sure if you're watching our podcast, you have the full collection of Mad since the beginning of time, right?
I'd assume.
I assume.
I hope so.
Okay, but what were you gonna say about the ride?
Well, I guess like the exterior over there.
Guess
too.
or this is
No,
a
I know.
podcast,
All
Robert.
right. All right.
You're educating people here.
Well, I know that in
Thank
Disney
you.
World, because I've been there to Florida.
That's a good researcher would.
Yeah, it is actually a tent still for Small World. Small World, it doesn't have that amazing exterior. It's just there, and then the castle's painted on the wall. So
Is that a political statement where they're like, it's like a refugee camp that we all live in called Earth?
Maybe that's the way they're doing it.
What if we found out like aliens were just like, just keep them there, dude. Like we'll figure out if they can have a job later. And so far they're like, just keep them there.
Well, I think that would explain a lot if the reptilians had some sort of...
I'm not getting into conspiracy theory, sir.
Well,
I guess I was.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You stroking your leg?
Oh, dude.
You stimming, as my friend Gordon would say? You're stimming, dude?
I think it's an autistic trait. You've got to always
That's what Gordon tells me. Every time I see him, he's like, God damn it, you're constantly stimming. Because Gordon is super grumpy. And he doesn't watch our podcast. He's not going to be upset. If you see this, though, can you make Gordon more grumpy? No, he'll be fine. But he is always like, God damn it, you're always stimming. And I was just like, what do you mean? And then he's like, you freaking hum. You're tapping. You're always rubbing things. I was like, I'm sorry, man. I didn't know. And then like as soon as he stops, I'm like, it's like, say, there you go. You're fucking stimming. Like I made Gordon super pissed last time I saw him about how much I stim. So now when other people he taught me the term. Now when other people stim, I'll be like, you stimming, bro?
Dude.
It's like the gel-in commercial for the shoe insoles, but for stimming. You stimming? Yeah, I'm stimming.
I mean, I'm stimming every night and day, dude. I need a fidget spinner constantly.
Yeah.
But Walt Disney, speaking of autism, totally had ADHD. And
doesn't everyone have ADHD? It's kind of, isn't that vague enough where it's like, everything's boring, so I concentrate on a lot of fun stuff?
well, when you have it like... there's people that are like, oh my God, I have ADD. Let me balance my check.
That's OCD.
Yeah. Well, okay.
You balance your checkbook? OCD.
Yeah, all right.
I'm a Dr. Juan Chef here. ND, not a doctor, but I can definitely declare. I do declare. Is that how you, when you have something a doctor says? I do declare you are ADD.
Yeah, I get foghorn leghorn when I go to the doctor.
I do declare you are ADD.
I do
the plumbing
declare
company.
that I would like an eclair.
Oh, dude, the Southern doctor. That'd be fun, dude. Eclair. Okay, get back to this. We got to stay on topic.
There's too much that is exciting, and I get it. But Mr.
You're complaining
Toad's,
about how much is exciting?
Yes. It's too much, dude. But
one of God's most ungrateful children, Robert Thompson.
Well, I am grateful for
I
Mr.
do
Toad's.
declare your soul end up in purgatory, boy.
Well, shucks, because we're about to go to hell and with Mr. Toad's.
Okay. Oh yeah, dude.
So if
I didn't take my kids on that one. That ride would terrify them.
Really?
That would terrify them. They got scared on the. Well, my youngest got scared on the freaking another ride that has to do with roads. It's amazing, which I'm hoping you're going to bring up. It's in Toontown. Are you bringing it up?
No.
Okay, good. It's in Toontown. The initial intro to the ride is you wait in the room and you're watching a movie of Mickey and Minnie and about to go. Pluto hops in the trunk. They're about to go on a picnic. They drive, but they crash into a train that Pluto's freaking or the Goofy's freaking. I was gonna say piloting. What do they call the train captain? Captaining, driving, the conductor.
Yeah.
Freaking Goofy is conducting it, which obviously is a disaster.
Gosh,
yeah,
oops.
you're like, but that's Disney. You know, they're great
17
storytellers.
dead.
They're like, who's the most awful driver of a train? They're like, give Goofy his license.
Yeah.
And then they crash, and so you go on this ride in this really awesome car. It's that same kind of thing that you're in the Star Wars. Like it moves around on like computer robotics. There's no actual track down, and you're just
It's a new technology.
So good, but my youngest one, poor thing, like was freaking. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot how like we're used to all this sensory stuff, but to a little kid, it's like an awful psychedelic experience. And Disney is a pro at terrorizing children.
And Wild Ride is one of those that I feel like it totally captures this sort of creepy, amazing fairy tale. I mean, my dad, this is his favorite ride, and it makes so much sense, and I get it now. But I love the ride too. But you know, the story is pretty amazing because it is one of the opening day rides from Disneyland. That's
Mr. Toad's been there since the beginning.
Yeah, well, not opening day, but.
You literally just said the most amazing fact about this place is that it was there on day one. And I went, oh, really? It was there on day one? Well, not exactly. Actually, it wasn't.
Well, it opened June 17, 1955. Disneyland opened, I think, in April, so
Okay.
it was a few months later.
That's fine.
But it
Okay.
was there.
Listen, I'll play along with your lie.
Okay.
Okay, I'll help you bury the body. We're too close for me not to. We got enough in the bank.
Thank you, sir. I'm glad I can count on you because if I was Mr. Toad, I'd need help, and that's what the whole story is. So. Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, if you don't know, is based on early 20th century novel Wind in the Willows, where it's this anthropomorphic group of pals that help their friend who has a problem. You've got Rat, Mole, Toad, but Toad has issues with sanity and drinking. He's an alcoholic, basically, but he just gets in trouble, and his friends try to help him out.
This was
Funny
a
that you
kid's
said
book?
that. Yes, there's probably some
Written by-
moral.
yeah, it sounds like a Japanese fairy tale. It's like it's about a toad that's alcoholic. He cheats on his wife. He murders 4 people.
Well,
that's
all
pretty dark.
All those children's stories and tales are all like morality stories. Like if you do this, then there's going to be a witch that eats you alive.
It really goes to show, like, non-biological evolution, just evolution of thoughts and the ways that people communicate and the way culture grows, how different we've been, and how much we've come, how far we've come, how much we've come, and how much we've come. I mean, buckets loads, folks.
Yeah.
No, but in all seriousness, how far we've come as humanity. Because you look at the movies that are out now from Disney, right?
Yeah.
Now that the old Nazi lover's dead, as far as we think, he might be in like some sort of robot Rick and Morty style suit walking around. But you look at what's out now, and you think, I mean, did you see Inside Out? Yeah, you did. We talked about it.
I love
Inside Out 2.
Out.
Inside Out 1, phenomenal movie. Inside Out 2, I was like, it's going to be really tough. It's going to be tough to match it, let alone top it. Spoiler alert, it's a fucking masterpiece.
It's an amazing movie.
It's a masterpiece.
Yeah, I do love it. I think it's a great, very emotionally intelligent movie. And
All right, big word, Billy.
Well,
It's emotionally intelligent, you see. I'm just saying, you think about where we came from with like them picking these like moral stories. You're like, I don't think that's going to teach kids the way you think it's going to teach them. And like,
I like.
but now you see the new stuff and you're like, this is unreal. It's
I do
brilliant.
love it. I love Luca.
Oh yeah, we love it.
A lot of stuff.
Luca.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, this has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but it's like watching a great Italian film.
Yeah. It's a great.
It's just the
amazing
music's
movie.
amazing. The story's amazing. All right. This turned into a Disney commercial. I'm sorry. I'll let you do your podcast.
Well, I was going to say
I'm
is
a bad boy.
It gets. I do appreciate that stuff, but I do miss the kind of reckless, wild sort of element of how things used to be. Because like. Not everything needs to be like, I'm great, I'm a good person.
Do you want me to get you a
know.
red hat that says make Disney movies creepy as fuck again?
Yes, please. I will get behind it.
Do you think people will read it, or do you think their brain will just see the symbolism of that and be like, oh, you political asshole? You're like, no, it says big Disney. It's the same font. That's about, it's parody graphic design. But you wanted to go back. I mean, didn't someone take the torch? Is someone else carrying that torch? Someone else is making weird, creepy stuff.
No, they are completely like... they're cleaning up all of that, like even in the parks, like all the unique weird stuff that was like
It's going away.
dude, anything that is upsetting to anybody is going to be gone. And
I am
it's,
so
like,
bummed that they stopped acting
sterile.
like the space Nazis when you go to when you're getting yelled at in the Auschwitz train at the Star Wars ride. What the heck's the name of the ride? The,
they
Rise of the
took them
Resistance.
out.
They used to like treat you like it, which was really weird. I mean, I definitely had an existential moment there when I was like, wow, my ancestors were like literally being like, murdered and gassed in the same way. So it was weird, but I was also like, but it's part of the story of Star Wars and it's part of the weirdness. And I asked them the last time I was there, it's like, you guys used to be like really mean and you'd order us around like Nazis and all this shit. And this chick that was there was like, yeah, people complain about it, so now we don't get to. She kind of rolled her eyes and I was like,
She's all Jews.
she did not.
She's like super
No,
fucked
she was
up.
like a fat redhead. She was
Racist.
probably Jewish, but she was like, but her and I were both like, really? Like, just because people complain, they changed like that was quality, like weird entertainment that you like
Amazing.
want. That's unique.
Dude.
Where you're like, wow, Disney's like really like laying it in thick. And like, I know not only like, obviously it's going to trigger some people. I have ancestors that were burned to fucking live, but also I was like, but yeah, that is the beauty of life. And the irony of life is that now here I am being entertained with this thing when just a few, one generation ago, it was a real thing. And the fact that they took it away was like, but dude, you had like the people that were there were enthusiastic. They were actors playing Steve Martin started acting at Disneyland. So you're like, dude, some of the greats start off being space Nazis in Star Wars. Well, not anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Totally.
I probably just sound like an asshole complaining because honestly, like that ride's still amazing. But I was just
so
like,
good. Yeah.
I was like, man, that was really special that you guys did that and you acted like they stayed in character. Like when you went to fucking Ed DeBevick's in Hollywood and they walk up to you, what's your order, you idiots? You know, and you're like, this is cool.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they don't mean it.
No.
You know.
It's like Dick's Last Resort in Vegas.
Was that the same thing?
Yeah, they're like, if it's someone's birthday, they'll put like fat slut bitch face dunce cap on the ladies.
Robert, this is a clean podcast.
I mean, hey, that's Dick's Last Resort.
I'm just joking. It's not my fault. It was Dick's last resort. He tried everything else.
Yeah,
Dick was trying to be nice. after my like cum bucket joke, and then you're like, I'm like, Robert, you can't say that. I love double standard comedy. Go on.
I thought it'd be great if I took my like picky uncle to Dick's Last Resort, my like Mormon uncle.
Yeah.
If I took him there and like he just because he gets pissed when his like literally his drink isn't refilled before it's out. Like just
you have a fascist for an uncle. He should go try to get a job at Disneyland working on the space Star Wars thing.
Yeah.
Over this way. You are the red one. Go this way. They don't talk in a German accent. It was Star Wars.
French. You go this way.
Oh, I thought it was German. Well, don't send me out for any of those German roles anymore, casting directors.
Oh man,
I can only go out for a French guy who thinks he's German.
Scheiße.
Oui, oui.
Frankfurt is so beautiful this time of year. The Bratwurst.
Yes, eat a croissant with our Führer. Yes, oui.
They're all descendants of Charlemagne the God.
Okay, we can't go into that right now. That is great history podcast stuff, but keep going with the rides. Okay, where are we at now?
So right now, Wind of the Willows was based on this book about this toad that had drinking problem. And yes, it's
Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
So Mr. Toad's Wild Ride was based on that, and it was supposed to be opening day. Didn't open quite with everyone else, but a couple months later, it was there, but it didn't look how it does now. It had like a circus tent kind of,
But inside, it was pretty much the same ride.
Yeah.
So even now, it's still beautifully done. But you can imagine seeing that in the 50s, the 60s. You'd be like, wow, this is like something.
Yeah.
Because the painting and the props, it's theatrical. It's like being on a really cool like Broadway play where you're like, oh, like this is real prop, like real beautiful backgrounds with layers and depth, and like you lose yourself in it.
Totally. And it's amazing because, I think for me, I love that you can. I mean, the ride is just you are so when it opened, people.
Are you having a seizure, Robert? Do I need to dial 9 Juan? Help! If you're watching this podcast, it's already been recorded. The next podcast is a tribute podcast.
I know. I like literally had a heart attack.
Do you ever notice like on rides like Mr. Toad's Wild Ride how good like they have like casino level air circulation there? I've never smelled a fart in a Disneyland ride. I farted on them. Like.
Yeah, they've got some good filtration in there. I mean, people are trying to throw ashes all the time and
do they really
things. Yeah,
and it just gets sucked up.
Yeah,
Grandpa, you loved Finding Nemo ride, and it goes. Be like, but he loved air conditioning. To tell you about Grandpa, he was a huge fan of being cool in the summer. He's not in the ride at all anymore. He's in the vents. He was a big diehard guy.
Yeah, now he smells like popcorn. Now he just is popcorn smell.
Oh, dude. Yes,
but
Papa's popcorn.
Dude, Papa's popcorn, shit, dude, pouring out for our dead homie. But I know that this ride was pretty cool when it opened, and it wasn't quite like there was some differences with that initial opening. To 1961, they had added some things. They added. So basically, the ride is just you on a motor car. You end up. Crashing into things, you're in a hall, you're in a
you definitely get sentenced.
Yeah, dude, you get a DUI.
Get the experience of a judge yelling at you.
Yeah.
You think you played your life straight? You want to see what it's like if you didn't?
Guilty.
Yeah,
you get sent to. So you get a DUI, die, and go to hell. This is the ride at Disney where you drive reckless, dying, and
it's so classic too, and it's been parodied in stuff. I don't know if it's knowingly or if it was from an older, more classic thing than that. If there is something more classic than that ride, but it's been in like judging scenes of like other like comedy stuff. I think Tenacious D's had it
totally,
and I know my favorite like Mighty Boosh has it, like the Milky Joe episode when they get caught for murdering Milky Joe and they go to jail and like the judge guilty and it's a coconut judge and all that stuff. So like that like watching a judge up from high and like being judged and going off to your death or life in hell or whatever. It's so well done in there. And then you get to walk out of there and be like, let's go get a frozen banana or a pickle.
Yeah.
So it's really nice. It's just brief experience. Like it's like a DMT situation as people describe it. That was that. Okay, cool. Let's get back to living on Earth.
Yeah, and that's what I love about it. You know, you literally just saw Satan himself. You felt the warmth of hell.
Oh yeah, dude, they heat it up in there real quick.
Yeah, if it's cold, it feels good, which doesn't really exist anymore in California. But
if it's cold,
yeah, it feels nice.
Calm down.
Okay,
calm down, climate alarmist. Okay, it was chilly AF.
It is in my ear.
He was probably right about a lot of stuff, but let's not be alarmist.
Remember when he had a huge dong when they were doing the campaign trail?
You're thinking of Lenny Kravitz. Al Gore does not wear leather pants that rip open. Okay.
Yeah, his cock ring. Remember that?
If Al Gore had a cock ring.
Al Gore.
What's your podcast like? What's Road Dogg's podcast like? It's like if Al Gore had a cock ring. Does that make sense? Just hit subscribe.
Johnny Cockring.
Johnny Cockring. I used to call him that. I didn't even know what a cock ring was when that trial was going on. I still call him Johnny Cockring. I thought that was a Prince Albert. I didn't know that you could wear something around your base that goes around your balls and makes you come differently.
Oh, is that what it does? I thought it just makes it
I don't
harder.
know. I don't use sex toys. I'm organic.
Well, we'll have to find out. Maybe
my sex toy is called my wife's fingers. Am I right, folks? Anyone?
I think there's...
Babe, if you're watching this, did you hit subscribe yet? Okay. Okay, go on. What's the next ride, dude?
All right. So, well, I wanted to say that...
Can I just say that I just love that we're sticking to a topic. We are like maturing in front of our audience right now.
I know. This is great, guys.
We're maturing podcasters. So cool.
We're learning, and
we're getting better for you guys.
Well, and just like getting better at podcasts, the ride got better. In 1961, they'd updated it. They added those iconic barrels that you crash into. The Toad Hall scene was extended. The town center added Mr. Toad because people threw such a fit originally with those rides, those Fantasyland rides.
Yeah,
because there wasn't. You're in the perspective of the main character, and people didn't get that. Like you're Toad on that ride, right?
Yeah.
But at first, or Snow White or whatever. And so,
did you say Snow White? Are you trying to make it more German? Yeah, Snow White.
Yeah. So
Edelweiss, Snow White.
Yeah. They're not you're not seeing them originally in those original rides. So 61 they had to add.
Here you go, you dumb motherfuckers. You're him, but you're also seeing him. Are you happy now? How do you complain to Disneyland?
What about like choices like that?
Did they poll people after they got off the rides in the 50s?
Oh, you know what? Maybe. I don't know.
Like, who the fuck complains to Disneyland about a ride?
See? They probably got, abundance of letters.
Is there like a complaint department at Main Street, like behind the fire truck?
Yeah. Next to the tobacco store that existed there?
Oh,
probably. Man. There is, though. There is where people complain over there in Main Street. But yeah, so...
I'm just joking, but that does seem like the kind of place you go complain, right?
It is.
It's like a weird stairway in the back of a place that you go up. Well, there's the complaint department. There's just they just pull a lever and you fall to a trap door and die.
Oh my, yeah, pretty much.
Wouldn't that be funny if Disney doesn't take complaints, they just kill you?
Dude, they could have the power.
I got the power. All Disneyland employees in the morning, they gather on a giant circle around the center. What do they call the center where Main Street ends and you can go in any direction? They all gather around that and hold hands and they play that song. I got the power. That's a fact. I know people that worked at Disney and I know people that currently work at Disney. That's a fact.
Whoa, I learned that today. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, dude.
It's pretty empowering.
I'm not just going to have you here educating me. I'm educating you.
I know, dude.
And then all the urinals at Disneyland actually goes to a water filtration system that actually makes it so pure it's cleaner than rainwater, and then it goes back to the water fountains.
Whoa, like Waterworld.
Yep. With Kevin Costner is actually one of the executive directors behind park planning and improvements. Park pissing.
Dude, that's pretty cool.
He has a placard. You go to Disneyland and I want to speak to the manager, and you go to a room and Kevin Costner's sitting behind like a big oak desk and it says head pisser in charge.
I wouldn't question it. I would just be like, all right, this is amazing.
They're so mean to that guy sometimes.
The Kevin Costner?
Yeah, dude, he made Dances with Wolves and then he just made a new movie and like mortgaged his house, or that was what the publicist was paid to tell everyone. And everyone's like, it fucking sucked. And you're like, dude, that's Kevin Costner's house. If you're watching this, Kevin Costner, you can come stay in here in my home office if you need to. That'd be so fucking rad to have Kevin Costner as a house guest.
Dude, I know, man.
He used to like teach at like a church that someone that my mom knew, like at their church. He was like a teacher for Sunday school. It was like Kevin Costner, like, because I was a huge Dances with Wolves guy. I don't know if you can picture a guy being super into Dances with Wolves. It was me.
Well, I mean, dude.
Here I am, like 30. I was like 10 or something like that. But like 30 years later, I'm like, God, I was such a huge Dances with the Wolves guy. I used to have dreams about it that I was in it with him. I used to watch it and like get super emotional all the time. I still do. Every time I eat remember when he's eating that, like he was sharing that like pork belly with the fucking wolf. And
It's a great movie. Yeah.
I still like when I'm cutting up like raw like pork belly, I'll be like, oh man, fucking hey, dude. Tatanka, dude.
Tatanka. What about Field of Dreams? If you build it, he will come.
You know what's funny, dude? I've never watched that movie fully through.
Oh, really?
Never. It's one of the, it's way bigger. Is it a bigger hit than Dances with Wolves? I don't know. It's a huge hit. Field with Dreams is a huge hit, though.
It was.
And I know the premise of it, and I know scenes from it. My grandma and grandpa, my grandpa used to watch it.
The guy disappears into the cornfield.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I mean, and who doesn't, right? It's a cornfield, right? They make bases out of it for a reason. All right, go on to the next thing, dude. We're tangent. We were doing good. I stopped to commend us, and then we went off on a fucking tangent.
Right,
and we're not editing it out because this is organic, real podcasting, but you know.
Well, so the folks were Kevin Costner pissed off at they were dumb and they didn't get it. So they added Toad and they added Rat, and his homie Rat was in there. But Hell was also updated, replacing the flat painted demons on the wall with actual 3-dimensional demons. So originally they were painted on.
Yeah,
they weren't like the 3-dimensional ones, but it would go unchanged for like another 20 years until the early 80s when they did a whole like revamp of Fantasyland. That's when they added kind of Snow White to the ride. That they did more of that, but yeah, crazy stuff. But Disney World's Mr. Toad's is very fascinating to me because they haven't had that's been gone since '98. Their Mr. Toad's is gone, and there's differences.
They just don't have it.
They don't have it, and so but people were upset, and they were because it was an opening day attraction for them.
Yeah,
and it's Mr. Toad's, so they like when people from Florida come here, they like go to Mr. Toad's and like, oh, this is my childhood. Yeah, even though it's different, there was differences. I guess like
you can't compare like Disney World to Disneyland. They're two different things. They share some stuff. They're both Disney. Yeah. And I've been to Disney World and I love it. It's rad.
Yeah.
But Disneyland is Disneyland.
Disneyland has like this, Walt Disney was there.
It's just one more thing that makes us better than Florida too.
Yeah.
It has to happen. It has to be better.
Dude. I mean, it is. I think Disneyland is like the greatest hits, dude. It's like it's all in one. You get all those experiences in one place. People always talk about over there they got 4 parks. I love all the parks.
You can't even hit that many parks. It's like the rat that like they did the orgasm test. It's like it's gonna keep pushing the button, but at some point it's like it's like a dopamine rush I was talking about earlier. Like,
I mean, that analogy you used could have just been used for us at like 19 on a Saturday.
Or when Kamel wants to go to do something and we're like, we're going to do so much, you're not even going to feel anything at the end. It's just like, we went to California. We had a banana split. Then we had a chocolate banana split. Then we went to, you're like, and Kamel only has bites of all of it, but I eat all the rest of it. And then I walk out bloated and I'll be like, it was just, what was that? What happened just now? I just want to go to Disneyland for one day and then give me months and months off. And then I want to go to California Adventure after that and give me months and months off.
Dude, well, I mean, if you
don't agree with me.
I do agree.
I can tell by the way you look down at my knees.
I could get obsessive with that too. I'm like, man, I want to do all this, but
I like getting higher with the thought of it. It's like renting an Airbnb that has a go-kart track, but you're only there for 2 days and you don't have time to ride the go-kart track. You're not going to use the go-kart track, dude.
Your eyes are bigger than your stomach.
Your stomach, yeah.
Or your balls are bigger than your stomach. I forget, but
it's eyes bigger than whatever it is.
Okay.
So if you're like, I'll have a foursome with 12 different prostitutes in a 3-hour span, you're like, boy, your eyes are bigger than your dad's.
Well, that's also a scene they took out of Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
But they kept it in Man on the Moon. Go on with your story.
So in Disney World,
Inside Disney World,
Mr. Toad's was opened in 1971, an opening day attraction at the Magic Kingdom. Mr. Toad's Wild Ride was unique in its design and operation, despite having a pre-existing sister attraction at Disneyland. But unlike Disneyland, their version had some differences.
I had a pre-existing sister attraction at Disneyland too.
Well, I guess
there's hot black chicks there. That's what we're trying to say on this episode.
Dude, heck yes, sister. But I guess
right,
dude.
Do you or do you not agree that there are hot black chicks at Disneyland?
I agree that there probably will.
I'm trying to do a what do you call it, a court thing, because that's the theme of it. Like, answer the question, Mr. Thompson. You're like on the stand at court. Are there hot black chicks? Tell the jury if there are hot black chicks at Disneyland.
Yes. Dude, so Magic Kingdom, Mr. Toad's had 2 separate tracks. So you would
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're two separate tracks, and at the beginning, you almost have a head-on collision with the other track.
Oh, dude.
Which is amazing.
Sponsored by Allstate.
Also,
They always have sponsors at some of these rides now. Remember when Star Tours was like sponsored by someone? And you're like, get the fuck out of here. We paid a bunch of money to come here. What are you getting sponsors for, you dick?
they've always had it. You just didn't think about it. They always.
Oh, yeah. Product placement for sure.
Yeah.
But it's funny that they charge us. Monsanto's like 45 different companies. So they're like, well, just call it something else. Call it Nestle for the weekend.
There's crypto.com.
Yeah. And by the way, thanks for watching Road Dogs Podcast, sponsored
by
Monsanto. I thought you were going to say
Monsanto.
Or one of the sister companies.
Fanta, but
Fanta is that's probably Monsanto, right? Fanta was invented by the Nazis during World War II when Coca-Cola was not able, because of the trade embargo, to interact with them. And they're like, we'll make our own orange soda, yeah?
Well, and it's funny because everyone thinks it's from Mexico. So many people do. Mexican people I know, they're like, no, that isn't that from Mexico? It was actually from Germany. But you know what? I think the orange, it wasn't an orange. It was just a
soda.
Coca.
No, because Coca. Sí, founded by the Nazis.
There you go, Fanta.
But I think the reason it became orange is because they ran out of certain stuff. I listened to some weird podcast about some stuff like that on YouTube.
Oh, really?
They ran out of certain stuff and they were using like leftover like orange rinds or something like that. So it became like a citrusy, I think.
Oh, that
I mean, just like all World War II knowledge. Like, is that really what happened, or is that how the winners changed history?
Well, speaking of Nazis, by the way, in World War II,
is that part of this?
Von Braun, he designed a lot of stuff. But you know,
wait, is Von Braun a dude?
Yeah, he's a scientist.
I thought Von Braun was a chick. Sounds like a super hot German woman, also 7 feet tall. Basically, you in a dress, as we talked about earlier in the episode. I thought you were my Von Braun.
I will be, dude. I am.
I'll be your Von Braun.
I'll be your Von Braun. I'll make you a rocket. I'll have my pussy.
Honey, look, you've got to see this podcast. It's these two dudes that are married, but they end up having sex with each other because one of the guys dominates the other guy because he thinks he's a tall German chick.
Well, I think that right now we should definitely
brush over what I just said and not riff on it. Well, that makes it a little uncomfortable for you, me, and the audience, Robert.
Well, I was going to say that track 2 takes you right through a German brothel, and you have some.
That's Camille's favorite ride.
Bratwurst, yeah. No,
it ends at a Michelin restaurant. Then you go back to the brothel afterwards.
Oh, dude,
Camille, you would love it. If Camille watched our thing, he would watch it, but he only watches like European movies about women and their lives.
I watched a movie with Camille that was pretty deep called Fat Girl, and like there's like a brutal death scene.
Yeah, that's a French film.
A French film, yeah.
We watched that. Yeah, I remember watching that.
That's so heavy.
Okay, that murder scene, the one where the guy goes through the window and hammers the mom and the daughter. That movie is so. Here's the thing about it. I can't stand violence in movies. It's just too creepy. But the brilliance of that movie. It has nothing to do with amusement parks, by the way. Sorry, we're gonna get back to it in a second.
Well,
the brilliance of that movie. Yeah, this is like a commercial break of tangent thought. The brilliance of that movie was that you don't know that that's coming because there's all this other weird, like it's just like humor and drama. It's funny at times and dramatic and doesn't lead up to being a murder movie at the end. That's a spoiler alert. If you're gonna go rent Fat Girl, there's a murder at the end, and even that part is kind of weird too. Like that whole situation of how when the cops find the girl, like the conversations, and you're like, what the fuck is this movie? It just seems like a regular European movie about like a family on vacation and like the daughter hooks up with some like random dude. It's pretty much like a normal vacation where you're like, where's my daughter? Like, she's fucking a dude. We're on vacation. And of course her teenage daughter's fucking some dude. And the husband and wife are kind of bickering. And then the husband stays behind to do business or something, right? And then the wife and the daughter's like, well, we're going to head back. And then there's like a murder at the very end of the movie after like a pretty normal, just like, you know, Spanglish style, like family relationships movie.
Yeah, it's strange.
Like, okay. And then you just leave it and you're like, I gotta go watch like the South Park Christmas special real quick to purge my soul of whatever I just fucking saw.
It was super heavy. Yeah.
That's kind of movies Camille likes. And he's like, oh, it was only 3 hours? Oh man. That's Camille and Tim. Tim Smith and Camille they're both filmmakers. They work in film. They are film dudes. And like, they literally get mad when like, oh, that movie's only a few hours. I wanted to sit in the theater for 7 hours till my fucking back hurt and my hip flexors are frozen. They love these long movies. And you're like, this is the most boring experience of my life. And they're like,
yeah. Dude, now you're making
if you're watching this, Tim, we love you. Tim would laugh at this, but he's a very quiet guy. So Tim would be like,
Tim's the best.
He's like my dad. He just laughs like this. That's him. Like, that's an applause break from Tim.
I mean, dude, Fat Girl, the ride coming soon with murder. It's great. But what also has murder is Mr. Toad. He dies and goes to hell as well in this one. But yeah, I guess like this one, it lasted till the 90s, 20 years or so.
Okay.
25 years. And it was torn down, and a lot of fans were upset, very upset. They were protesting Winnie the Pooh coming. Winnie the Pooh
is looking at you going like this, looking at your clipboard like a newscaster from the 50s and reading it really. And then the ride went really well. I'm like, I'm going to interrupt this motherfucker really quick in a second here. What the fuck's interesting about this shit, Robert?
Well, I guess what's interesting about it is Winnie the Pooh replaced it. And what's fun is that they have little nods to the OG Mr. Toads.
In the Winnie the Pooh ride?
Yeah, in Florida.
I was going to say, where is the Winnie the Pooh ride? It's in Florida. Speaking of Disney nightmares, dude, I used to freak out Blustery Day, the psychedelic scene when he eats the bad honey.
Yeah.
I used to freak the fuck out.
Well, that's on the ride.
I used to hide my fucking head underneath the pillows. It was like watching the Exorcist commercial as a 5-year-old. You're just like, what is going on?
It's terrifying.
Plugging your ears, covering your face. It was so weird. Well, now I love it. Huffalumps and Whistles is, I go to bed to it every night, and I only have three nightmares a night on average. Dude, I had a weird dream last night. Can I tell you about it? Speaking of which.
Yeah.
Okay, I dreamed, again, this isn't like in my house, in my neighborhood, but in a suburban neighborhood, my neighbor across the street was like a Waylon Jennings kind of character, and he was in a outlaw country band, and Arnold Schwarzenegger was their drummer, and I would like converse with them from my driveway as I do with my suburban neighbor now, and try to avoid when he starts bringing up Hunter Biden's laptop. I just be like, oh, that's crazy. It's pretty hot though, right? This weather. But anyways, I would converse with this neighbor, and Arnold Schwarzenegger was the coolest dude. Anytime they'd get back from like band practice, they'd all come, in one car, and then Arnold Schwarzenegger would get out to get in his car, and I'd get to like say what's up to Arnold. It was so fucking rad because I love Arnold, so it was so fucking cool.
What did he play?
Huh?
The guitar or what was?
I think he was the drummer. And he would be a fucking funny ass drummer too. Like just like every time he hits the bass pedal, it just like fucking goes through it. He's way too fucking muscular to be a drummer, huh? Yeah.
Well,
like, drummers are usually like super fit, but they're like soccer player fit, like toned and thinner, right? They're not normally big and buff. Maybe in the Misfits. I know you're thinking of the new Misfits, but those guys are just like steroid guys. Once the Misfits went blonde.
Dave Lombardo.
Oh, okay. Is he a buff guy?
Not really.
So that was a bad example
drummer.
too. Okay, yeah, I know who he is. Though.
But
Thanks for saying Slayer drummer. Everyone that watches our podcast is the same age as us and listens to the exact same music. They're nostalgic for Slayer. Dave Lombardo, who?
Well, so Arnold was a drummer.
He was the drummer,
band?
and then in the dream, so I didn't ever see the band play. I just remember like conversing with them from my driveway. And they were really cool. And there was like times when they would come back, and I'd always be excited, like, "Oh shit, dude, Arnold Schwarzenegger's like." He's here, like a suburban guy with binoculars through his window, but like Arnold Schwarzenegger's like getting out of the car. And then something happened where they were letting me like use their printer, and I went to their house to print something. I don't remember what it was. I don't remember what I was going to print up, but I said like, all right, I need like 10 copies. And I said like, I did like the Hey Siri to the printer, and it printed up too many copies of it. And I was all freaking out in the dream. I was like, oh dude, like I'm wasting all their ink. Like I needed a quick favor, and now I turned into the douchebag that like wasted all their ink, and I can't afford to go buy them more ink. And then I thought to myself in the dream, like, hey, this would be a really good premise for a joke because, I talk out loud to a lot of stuff. I have a slice of pizza and I go, hey, pizza, like you're going to get in my stomach in a second here, right? So I, in the dream, was thinking about like, oh, I got to turn this into a bit because it's so funny, like me talking out loud to inanimate objects, how it's actually fucking my shit up right now because I'm printing too many things and wasting their ink. And that was, I think I woke up after that.
Dude, dreams are so
uneventful
strange.
when I tell them. I'm so sorry, guys.
No.
I'm sorry to you guys, and I'm sorry to you.
No, I had a dream the other day that was so visceral, dude, and it was so nightmarish. It was like some guy I went to high school with like died in a truck, and it like was so
in the dream.
Yes,
yeah,
and I like hit him up. I'm like
the next day,
man, because
the next day because you felt so bad for the dream. Oh yeah, dude, it's surreal.
It felt just like Fat Girl, where you see someone get murdered, and you're like, oh, what the fuck did I just go through? But it was like that, and Mr. Toads has that quality. But
way to bring it back, dude. You're a pro,
dude.
That was good, man.
Well, gosh,
that was John Goodman. What you did right there.
But yeah, so Mr. Toads is gone from Orlando. So when people come here, they're like, "Oh man," and they love revisiting it. But if you're at Disney World, they have
said that part like you had to, and then like and they really enjoy it and shit. And then
I'm trying to wrap a little
bow on it. Oh, you're doing good.
Bow Bridges.
No, you're doing good. Yeah, because we gotta do an ad read.
Bo Berman.
We got ad read, dude. We got two sponsors now, and I'm excited to do.
Well, we'll do a little trivia right after that. Right after we do that right now. But there is a pet cemetery at the Haunted Mansion, and it has a Mr. Toad to ode the long lost ride, and then also on the ride it shows Toad handing over the deed to Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, that's so cute,
So
dude.
it's
So
cool.
there's like an actual handoff to the torch carrying.
But that's a fun road dog ride, and we'll have some more little theme park trivia right after we do
our ad read.
Shout out to
our sponsors, guys.
Sponsors.
Guys, our first sponsor that we're shouting out to is A Piece That Remains.
The
Now a piece remains. James Hetfield for you guys right there. Now a piece remains. And then think about it going slow now. Think about it going slow now, Robert. Like the Unforgiven, you know. Unforgivable. And still a piece remains. So I imagine that commercial song coming from like the Black Album era, which was kind of like peak Metallica before short hair.
Yeah.
A Piece That Remains, what Dee does at A Piece That Remains is she takes your passed on loved ones, she takes ashes from them, and she puts them into artwork like jewelry, beautiful paintings that helps you retain that loved one in your life in an artistic, creative way permanently. She's an amazing person. She will handle the remains of this loved one of yours in the utmost honor, respect. It doesn't get mailed to us before it goes to her, so you don't have to worry about anybody losing it.
No, and it's done in such an artful and thoughtful way. It's so cool.
It's so cool, and she's such a wonderful person. So that's...
And don't ask her to spread ashes on Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Callback. Good.
Yeah, dude. Thank you.
Callback to our Joker there, D. Hope that was okay. We added that in. This episode is also sponsored by Zwick Glass. Thomas at Zwick Glass is a creative, brilliant, awesome man that works with his hands. These two things that we got to, that if you stare at long enough, you start to contemplate the nature of reality. He works with those, and he makes gorgeous glass pieces. He is such a cool dude too, and he supports the show, and we love him, and you should go support him. Right now, if you go to his Instagram and subscribe, it's going to be tagged. Here's an image of... Tell him we sent you, buy one of his glass pieces, or just send him a message and say, hey, heard you on the Road Dogs podcast. Want to get to know you better. Or actually, you could make up what you want to say to him, right? You shouldn't tell people what they should say to Thomas.
No.
We're not his fucking handler.
Yeah, you could ask him what his favorite holiday is.
Don't look at Thomas in the eyes when you talk to him. He's much like Fred Durst. He doesn't like that.
Dude, well,
he's the best.
He rules. Yeah, dude, Zwick Glass. Check it out, guys.
Check it out, guys.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah. America. Heck yeah. All right.
Dude.
So how are we wrapping this episode up?
I want to wrap it up with a quick little game of trivia for you.
Game of trivia.
Question,
that was a show.
question.
That was a George R. Martin book series. Game of trivia.
Yeah, he's still writing it today.
He's still writing it?
Yeah, it's, I love George R. R. Martin.
House of the Trivias.
Did you follow House of Dragon or Game of Thrones?
None of it. Because one time when Kamel and I were roommates, he was watching an episode and there was so much murder and rape in it that I was like, dude, if you want to watch porno, just tell me. I'll leave the house so you can watch the actual porno, because this is so fucking weird.
Yeah.
I couldn't get into it. Like, I was like, I could tell the acting's great. I know the story's addictive, but I was like, murder and rape, dude? Like over and over again too. He's like, it's all like this. I was just like, every episode, like I'm gonna tune in for that. Like,
yeah, you did get a boner, John. I don't know how you didn't enjoy.
How dare you ask on our
murder.
podcast if I got a boner? You know how easily I get hard. It has nothing to do with if
it is intense. It's very intense. But that's what cracks me up, because George R. R. Martin is dealing with heavy socio-political murder and all that stuff. But when you hear him talk, George R. R. Martin, you think that he'd be from like. He's from Hillshire Court. He's from New York.
Yeah.
And he sounds like
he dressed like one of my grandpa's friends that you'd see at a gun show in Orange County. He has the same Greek fisherman's hat, and just like, he's the guy standing behind the booth where you're like, oh, this is who collects ammo cases, and this his whole life is just touring around selling ammo cases.
Exactly.
That's what he seems like.
He's got like suspenders, his little newspaper boy hat.
Is he a cool dude? Has he been doing nice stuff? Is he like the Harry Potter lady where he just makes fun of trans people? And you're
he's
like,
a great writer, and he's great. But
can I still wear the shirt now that you're saying all this mean stuff? You know.
Yeah. No, I think
he's a great writer.
Yeah, J.K. Simmons. Shout out. No, but he's
J.K. Simmons. Wait, no, that's
kidding.
the actor.
Yeah,
being from Juno, a groundbreaking movie with dialogue that will blow your mind. Remember when everyone was like, the dialogue, and then you watch it, you're like, yeah, there's no one ever seen fucking a Kevin Smith movie? Like, Anyway, sorry. I love that
it
movie.
was rare. You know what I realized is things are so diluted.
They're so
and
vanilla that when
shitty,
someone puts one little sprinkle on top,
it
everyone's
sounds
like,
real.
whoa. Yeah.
Well, like John Hughes, it was more like how kids actually were, kind of like the way they interacted. Kevin Smith too, like yeah.
John Hughes to me seems like it's like, even though I guess it deals with subjects that are crazy, we benefited from like those groundbreaking things happened before our generation. So to us, we just take it for granted. Like that's still pretty corporate stuff. Like John Hughes, like Christmassy, like suburban, like yeah, the parents are divorced, but everything's pretty cool kind of vibe.
Yeah,
you know, like it's not like the movie Kids where you're like, Jesus Christ, what are these teenagers doing? And it wasn't like that where I grew up, and then it was, and you're like, oh yeah, I think it was actually.
Yeah, we weren't getting AIDS like you did with those kids.
Well, speak for yourself. I haven't got tested. I do the Mitch Hedberg roundabout AIDS test. Remember that joke? That's like one of his best shows. You know anybody with AIDS? Good, because you know me. God, that's one of the best jokes of all time. He has like 7 to 20 of the best jokes of all time. His average. I mean, all he did was write jokes. He didn't like do really bits and much or anything like that. Okay, that's too soon. Let's pour a little out for our homie Mitch.
Dude.
I met his wife once when they were doing the documentary. And yeah.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Was it the Improv or something?
Huh?
Was she like in
Yeah,
town?
it was at the Hollywood Improv.
Oh,
they did a thing.
Fucking awesome.
They did a thing. They did an interview.
He lived in L.A., right?
He lived in a van down by the river. No, he had a van that they traveled in. I think he lived in L.A.
at one point.
I think most
comics then definitely did.
Yeah, a lot of people lived in L.A.
Yeah.
Nobody lives in L.A. Living in L.A. That's Walking in L.A. All of our listeners know that song. All right.
Well, so
wrap it up. What's going on, Robert? People should come to see us.
Come see us at Road Dogs.
Every Wednesdays we're at Road Dogs. It's in Pasadena.
Barney's Beanery.
Barney's Beanery, dude. Pasadena. Upstairs, you just go all the way up the stairs. Back of the building, belly room on the balcony. It's this corner room. It's open air. You can see red brick buildings behind us. It's got cafe lights.
I think it's one of the only shows that you see pure... I don't want to sound pretentious here, but
you're about to, and I love it. Keep going, Robert. Get as pretentious as you can.
People make this. They make it out like LA. It's depleted, and it is. But there is still.
LA is weird AF, and I'm hitting caps lock before I hit the A and the F. Yeah, no, LA is weird.
I feel good about our show. We've had a lot of our friends that I really love and should be getting up more in LA. Or if they do, it's our favorites.
Do it. Christine Little, Rel Battle, Nate Hurd. I mean, how long's the list? Keep going, dude. Keep the list going. Gosh. I gave 3 of us. Come on, Nat Bamel killed it. Yeah. Zane Helberg, he roasted us the whole time for the show, but we still love him. He killed it though.
Yeah,
who else? Keep going.
We've had Chris
Zane, are you watching this? You better. Dude, Neff always tears it up.
Yeah, Luke Barker, a young, great guy.
Lala Kellums, or as we call her, Lala Killmister, aka Lemmy.
Dude, there's so many. Dude,
keep going. Keep lifting it off. Don't get lazy.
Kevin Tinkin. We had.
Dude, Kevin. What about Jackson?
Yeah, Jackson Banks.
Jackson's
my
so
friend, great guy. He destroyed.
Keep going.
Manolo from TJ.
That's right. Don't leave anyone out.
Kiltony.
We're sending this to all of them.
God, we've had.
Keep going.
Who else, man?
Don't diss our friends. Keep going. They're gonna be bummed.
They're all great. I love them.
You're gonna have people that are bummed.
Diet J. Jay.
Oh, dude, Jay Light came. Dude, Jay Light
was great.
Came all over.
I don't know if that's Diet J.
Glenn Bolton.
I don't know. Glenn Bolton was awesome. We had Real Rich.
Someone.
We have
Fake Rich too. We had so many Riches, except for Rich Slayton. He hasn't come out yet. He's stuck in Austin. They won't let him leave.
The Cast Man.
Cast Man, dude.
Yeah.
Keep going. McKenna.
Dustin David.
Dude. Dustin's so fucking good.
Yes.
Oh my God! Like when you watch I haven't seen him for a while, right? Because we were out of comedy for a bit, and I watched him. I was like, that motherfucker found his voice. Like his pacing and his voice is how he like talks when he's funniest, and he does his bits so fucking funny.
Great. He's killed.
He's so funny. Oh, I was so proud of him and so excited. I was like,
Mike from Detroit.
Oh, dude, Mike Eshak.
Mike Eshak fucking leveled.
He broke the mic though because he gripped it too tight. He's very strong.
Keith Carey.
Keith.
Tom Goss.
The Goss Man?
Dude, the Goss Man.
Goss Man. He had, even at one of his fans came to that show. That was cool.
Yeah, that was awesome.
His fan was a great audience member.
From San Jose.
St. Jose's, as we say. Yes.
Dude, great times. Come see us, guys. Yeah, every Wednesday, Barney's Beanery, Pasadena.
Doors open at 8:30. Show actually really gets kicking 9.
Yeah.
9:15-ish.
In AM. No. I'm kidding.
Don't fucking this ad read for us. They're gonna come at the wrong time.
Guys, come at 9 p.m. Barney's Beanery or 8:30.
Now you're making it complicated, Robert.
Fuck.
You know what we do to ad readers that make things complicated? We just say it clear one last time. 8:30 p.m. Come, the doors open. Barney's Beanery in Pasadena. There's parking everywhere. Parking's free in a lot of spots in Pasadena after 6, so that's easy. The food's freaking great. Chicken fingers, they're not even chicken fingers. They're chicken tenders.
Yeah.
They're tenderized breasts.
I would be lying if I didn't say they are like life-changing chicken tenders.
Don't lie to these people.
No, dude, I could suck on them chicken tenders.
Dude, they're good. And they do like a little lemon zest in the batter or something like that, dude. Like they're fucking good. They got good ranch too. It's not Hidden Valley. Well, no offense. It could be the powder from Hidden Valley, but it's actually like creamy real ranch.
Like Paul Newman jizzed
no,
in
it's
himself.
not. You didn't.
Okay.
Paul Newman jizzes in the ranch.
Yeah.
If that was his last joke before Paul Newman went, I would buy more of it.
I mean,
his Caesar's good too.
Caesar salad.
If you found out every
killer.
dressing named after a guy had some form of their semen in it, because it's Caesar.
Oh man,
We got to go.
RD,
in fact, we should go with Manolo to TJ because I want to have the original Caesar salad.
Oh, we should. It's great.
Anything else we want to say about the great food at the beers and the bartenders are awesome too. Is this too long of an ad read now?
No, I think
come at
Barney's is
8:30
great.
Wednesdays to Barney's in Pasadena. Angie's our bartender. Art's our bartender. Chewy's our bartender. Our substitute bartender's even awesome. Jordan,
yes. Great. Dude, Jordan was rad. Yeah, good times, great vibes.
He's the Michael Jordan of
it.
substitute bartenders.
Yes, I would say so. I would say so, my friend.
All right, how are we wrapping this episode up now that we did
up with a quick trivia question on another theme park ride that has to do with the roads. All right, so Mr. Toad's, when it opened in 1971 at Disney World, the second Mr. Toad's ever, it almost didn't make it because they had other ideas. What 3 of these ideas were actually considered in 1971?
This is so fun. We're playing a game.
That became rides eventually.
Okay.
All right. So was it, or almost did? Was it A, Mary Poppins Jolly Ride, or Jolly? What is it? Jolly Roger, the ride.
Go on.
Was it B, Aerosmith Rock and Roller Coaster, or C, Superstar Limousine, where you ride around and get?
You're asking which one is the real one?
Yeah. So which one is
Aerosmith? Aerosmith's the real one.
Well, you were close.
Well, they had a video game, so I thought maybe I was like, okay, maybe.
No, Aerosmith came to Disney World. It was Mary Poppins Jolly Roger.
Oh, that was going to get made?
But it never was made, and there's never been a Mary Poppins ride. There's supposed to be one in Epcot during COVID, and because of COVID, it never happened.
Now, are the newer generations of people, are kids still watching Mary Poppins? I did.
I did too. Mary Poppins, I'm
supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Yeah.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Even though the sound of it is really atrocious. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So kids are still watching that?
I think if they have Disney Plus.
Dude, we did our ad reads. How fucking dare you try to do another ad read?
Well,
we would have a 4K.
Man,
we'd have a 4K
should-
full frame camera if Disney Plus was paying us for ads, and we don't. We got a Sony A. I can't even see it. It just shows 1A.